Okay, so let us continue our discussion. We have sampling distribution of the sample mean when the variance is known. Okay, when you say sampling distribution of the sample mean, the probability distribution of the sample mean from all possible samples from a population. For example, consider the set of all possible samples of size 2 from the population 466. So mean to say size 2 man, so meaning out of the given 466 nga given number is i-pair siya duha. So may maka-pair ta og 46, 46 og 66. So whose sample mean are 5, 5, and 6. So giyon sa man pagkuha ang sample mean. So gi-add siya 4 plus 6, 10 divide 2, di ba? Pagkuha sa sample mean is sa previous discussion is i-add naman to siya nya i-divide kung pila ka bok given. Since duha ra man ka bok given mo na i-divide og 2. 4 plus 6, 10 divide 2 mo nang 5. Ang usa 4 plus 6 divide 2, that is why 5 side. Ang kaning duha 6 og 6, 6 plus 6 12 divide 2, that is why ang sample mean kay 5, 5, and 6 respectively. Then, we have the following sampling distribution of the sample mean. Okay. So, we have, ato nang iiyapon, ang yung sample mean. So, since duha man ka 5, that is why, ang sample mean 5, ang yung frequency, pasabot sa frequency class is, pila ka buok iyahang tali, pila ka buok. 5 kay duha man, that is why 2. Yang 6 kay usara man, ang mean nga 6, so that's why 1. So mo na siya. Now, so the mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is, if the population is normally distributed, then the mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is equals to the population mean. Okay. The mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is denoted by this symbol. Kani siya. Mo niya symbol sa mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. Mo ni siya. Kani kita ganin nga symbol, ang basa niya is the mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. Kay equal daw siya sa population mean. Di ba? Ang symbol sa population mean is kani mura og U. Is equal daw sila. Okay, example. A population is normally distributed with a mean of 60. Hence, the mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is 60 sad. Diba? Since ang population mean of mean of sampling distribution of sample mean is equal man daw, so that is why kay ang population mean kay 60 man ang given, so therefore ang mean sa sampling distribution of sample mean sad kay 60. So, mo to siya, the same sila class. Kung 60 ang population mean, automatically ang mean of some distribution of sample mean is also 60. Now, next is the variance of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. So, it is called the sampling variability. This shows how the sample mean varies from sample to sample. Okay, the variance of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is denoted by this symbol. So, mo niyang symbol sa variance of sampling distribution of sample mean. This one, standard deviation, then ay x bar sa ibabaw, then squared. This is equal to the population variance, mo ni siya, divided by the sample size n. So, take note class, the formula in finding the variance of sampling distribution of sample mean, we have, you can see the symbol, mo ni siya, anang standard deviation, x bar, then squared is equals to the variance over the sample size n. Kaning na murag circle din to, di ba kung circle ra, kung ano siya standard deviation. Since na may power of 2, is variance na siya over n. Manang formula. Okay, for example, population has a variance of 10. So 10 ang yung variance. A sample of size n is equals to 5. Is taken from the population. Okay. Using this, we can compute for the variance of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. Since given naman ang one class, gihatag na ang variance na 10, then sample size na 5, so we will just substitute to the formula. So formula, variance squared over n, so ang variance na given kay 10, so Copy ang 10. Then, ang formula kay na may square. So, that is why 10 power of 2 over 5. So, pasabot sa 10 power of 2, square daw kaduhaw ng 10. So, 10 times 10, that is why 100 over 5. So, 100 divided by 5, so 20. So, the answer is the variance of the sampling distribution of the sample mean class is equals to 20. Okay? That is just substitute. Now, let us proceed to the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of sample mean. So, it is also called the standard error. This is used to measure the accuracy with which the sample represent the population. Okay, if a population is normally distributed, then the standard error of the sampling distribution is given by the formula. Muna formula, ang symbol sa standard error of sampling distribution, again, symbol for standard error is we have kanang natay variance, then ay x bar sa ibabaw, na bar is equals to, ang formula is the variance over the square root of n. Standard deviation over the square root of n. Diyan sa variance. So, muna ang formula class, formula sa standard deviation of sample distribution of sample mean is, or the standard error of the sampling distribution, we have the standard deviation over the square root of n. N is the sample size. Okay, note that the standard division of sample division of the sample mean is the square root of its variance. So, di ba, kay bawman ta, basta example natay sa itong previous discussion, kung makuha na to ang variance, then kung to find the standard deviation, di ba, ito man ang square root ng variance? Okay, example. A population has a standard deviation of 5. A sample of size n is 10 drawn from the population. The standard deviation of the sampling distribution of sample mean is computed as follows. So, ato i-substitute sa formula. Okay, substitute ta sa formula. Ana ra ka sayon. So, ang standard deviation we have 5. So, substitute ang 5. Yan ang size n is 10. So, 5 over square root of 10. Kay formula kay na may square root. So, 5 over square root of 10. So, you can use your calculator or any solving device. So, the answer is approximately 1.58. We round off siya 2 decimal places. So, therefore, the answer of the standard deviation or the standard error of the sampling distribution, excuse me, of sample mean class is approximately 1.58. Okay? Example number 1. Mrs. Letini find out that the age of grade 12 students is normally distributed with an average of 16 years and a variance of 9. So we need to determine the mean and the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean with a sample size of 100. Okay? Atong identify ang mean kaya from the given, we have ang mean is, di ba, ang mean is mo ng average. So, since yatag ng average of 16, mo ng mean class 16. Take note, kung saan pagkaibakas ang mean is mo ng average. Di ba? Pagwas sa mean is, i-add man to na i-divide kung pila na siya kabok size. So, since ang nanay yatag ng giving average, mo na siyang mean. And then, the variance is 9. Given na sad, variance is 9. Then, standard deviation of 3. Sir, giunsa man yung pagkuha ang 3? Di ba, ang standard deviation is square root ang variance. Take note, di ba, kung natay variance nga 9, so square root ang 9, so that is why natay, naibong mo natay standard deviation nga 3. Then the sample size is given also, which is 100. Now, let us substitute. Okay, take note, di ba, ang population mean is equal to the mean of the sampling distribution. So therefore, since ang population mean kay 16 man, so therefore, ang mean sa sampling distribution of the sample mean is also 16. Now, atong isolve ang standard deviation. Ang formula, we have the standard deviation over the square root of n. Okay? So the formula for a standard deviation of sampling distribution of sample mean is mo siya standard deviation over square root of n. Since standard deviation kay 3, so then ang sample size kay n ay 100. So ato na ibutang substitute 3 over the square root of 100. So use your calculator or any solving device. So the answer is 0.3. Mo na ang standard deviation of the sampling distribution of sample mean. So therefore, ang mean sa sampling distribution of the sample mean is 16 years. Okay, 16 years. And the standard error or standard deviation is 0.3 years. Okay, do you understand? Okay. Another example, we need to determine the sample size if the variance of the population is 117 and the standard error of the sample mean is 3. So, atong ikuha sa given, so ang variance daw is 117 and then ang standard error or standard deviation of sample mean is 3. So, we need to solve to the formula. Compute for the variance of sampling distribution of sample mean using the given standard error and the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is the square root of its variance. Okay. So, let us substitute. Kung sa nato ang variance of the sampling distribution. Nya, ang standard deviation is atong square root ang variance. So, we have look at the formula. So, since naman ay square root, so, aron mawagtang ang square root nga size class is, gikuha na siya, square both sides. Square both sides, so, kaning first nga nasa left, square, so, mo na siya nanay squared, mo na standard deviation, mo na ang sample standard error is equals to the square root ang na standard deviation, ay square ang kuan, square root, so mawagtang na ni siyang square root class, so that's why nabilin na lang kay kanina lang. The formula to get the variance of sampling distribution. So, the variance is 3 times 3, so the answer is 9. Okay, now nakuha na to ang 9. Now, atong isolve ang sample size using the formula for the variance of sampling mean. So, since ang variance kay 9, so we need to use the formulas. The variance squared over n. So, the variance is ang given kay 117. So, 117 divided by n. Since wala man ang n ang given class, so mao na siya. Cross multiply. Ato i-cross multiply. So, 9 times n. May mo siyang 9n equals 117 times 1. Ang 9 always na may imaginary. Any number na dyan na imaginary 1. So, cross multiply x. So, 9 times n. So, 9n. May mo ng 9n equals 117. Now, to find the value of any class, always remember kung unsang tupad sa variable. Since n is a variable, ang variable class any letters from the alphabet A to Z. N. So, 9. Since 9 mang tupad sa n, so divided by 9 both sides. So, 9n divide n. So, n na lang. Then, 117 divide 9. So, the answer is 13. So, therefore, ang sample size class from the given problem is 13. Okay? Okay, since ganiya kay kuan man to known, ang variance kay known, now let us discuss the sampling distribution of the sample mean when the variance is unknown. Okay, when the variance of sampling distribution of sample mean. So, if the population is normally distributed and the population standard deviation is unknown, the variance of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is estimated by, so muna ang formula class sa variance sa sampling distribution of the sample mean kung unknown. So, muna ang symbol sa variance is equals to variance over the n. N is the sample size. X squared is the sample variance, which is an unbiased estimate of variance squared, and n is the sample size. Formula is squared over n, ha? Example. In a normally distributed population, ang sample variance is 100, x squared equals 100, and sample size is 20. And then using the formula, we could substitute to the formula to get the variance of sampling distribution of sample mean, Sn over n. So Sn kay, Sn is squared is 100 or the sample variance, n is the sample size which is 20. So 100 divided 20. So therefore, from this example, the variance of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is equal to 5. Next, standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. Okay, if the population is normally distributed and the population standard deviation is unknown, the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is the estimated by or given by the formula. When the formula standard deviation sampling distribution of sample mean, we have S over square root of n. S is the sample standard deviation, N is the sample size. Example, a sample is taken from normally distributed population. The sample size N is 25 and standard deviation is S is equals to 40. Thus, we need to substitute to get the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean using the formula S over the square root of N. So the S or the sample standard deviation class is 40. So 40 divided by N, sample size is 25, square root of 25. Kaya mo ng formula. So 40 divided square root of 25. Square root of 25 class is square root of 25 sa daan. We have 5. So 40 divided 5. So therefore, the answer is 8. Thus, the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of sample mean class is 8. Okay, another example. A set of data is normally distributed with a population mean of 35. What is the mean and the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean using sample size n equals 49 and sample standard deviation s is equals to 4? So, list the given information. Ang mean daw kay 35, ang sample distribution is s is 4, and ang sample size daw kay 49. Now, determine the population mean. Again, the population is normally distributed, so the mean of the sampling sample is equal. So from the given pareha ganiya class, ang mean of the sampling distribution of sample mean is always equal sa sample is equal to population mean. Since ang population mean kay 35, so therefore 35 sad ang mean of the sampling distribution. Kani nga symbol murag U, then I X, then bar sa ibabaw. Muna siya gitawag mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean equals siya ni always population mean 35. Now we need to solve the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean using the sample standard deviation. We have the formula to find the standard deviation, S over the square root of n. Muna yung formula ganiha, take note. So the S is 4, then ang n kay according sa problem 49, so n over 4 divided 49, so ang 49 is square root sa class, square root of 49, so 7. So, kabaw mo square root. To how to square root? It is a perfect square. So, kung imong squared ang number, 7 times 7, 49. No? Ano siya? So, square root over 9 is 7. So, 4 divided 7, the answer is reduced into 2 decimal places, approximately 0.57. So, ang population, so, ang mean and the mean of the sampling distribution class is 35. Kaya given naman daan ang population mean, pareha man na sila. And then, the standard deviation of the sample mean is we have approximately 0.57. Okay, another example. Cady is interested in knowing the average number of hours her batchmates watch TV in a week. She computed 6 hours using sample variance of 252. Identify the sample size used. So, pangitaw na to ang sample size class. So, given, ato sa identify yung sang given, so ang kanang 6 is mao na ang standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. Standard deviation. And then kanang 36 is, naibong mo din maninggikan ang 36 class. Sir, so ang kaning 36 is the variance. Diba, as we all know, ang variance, ang standard deviation is square root man mo ng variance, diba? So square root of 36, so 6. So therefore, ang yang variance kay 36. Ang yang standard deviation kay 6. 6 times 6, 36. Kung imo sang square root ng 36, the answer is 6. Yang sample variance from the given is 252. So we use the formula. Sample size using the Sa formula sa variance is we have this one is equals to s squared over n. Ang variance, we have 36 is equals to ang sample variance is 252 divided by n. Again, basta inani nga case, cross multiply. Also, remember any number, naana sa imaginary 1. So, 36 over 1. Naana siya. So, 36 times n, cross multiply man. So, 36n is equals to 252 times 1, 252. So, munang nahimong so, divide both sides by 36. So, 36n is equals to 252. So, 36n. So, 36n divide n. So, n na lang. Nga 252 divide 36, the answer is 7. So, therefore, si Cady nigamit sa example size nga 7. Okay? Do you understand? Okay, got it. Okay, next, we have the Central Limit Theorem. So, when you see Central Limit Theorem, the sampling distribution of the sample mean of any population approaches a normal distribution as the sample size increases regardless of the distribution of population. Okay, the Central Limit Theorem class implies that as long as the sample size n is sufficiently large, that is, if n class is greater than 30 or equal to 30, the sampling distribution of the sample mean is approximately normal. So, basta gani mula pas og 30 or equal to 30 cn, ang iyang sample mean is normal. Example, in a given population, sample size n is 50 is drawn. Since the sample size is greater than 30, it follows, di ba, basta mula pas man to og 30, di ba, ganyan sa example, basta si n kay mulapas daw 30 or equal to 30, normal siya. Since kani kay nilapas og 30, which is 50, so normally distributed siya according to the Central Limit Theorem. Okay, we have the mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. Okay, the mean of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is always equals to the population mean, as what I discussed earlier. Kato ganiha. Okay, example, the mean of the set of data is 20. So therefore, ang iyang mean of sampling distribution is also 20. Next, standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. Okay, if the population class is finite, when you say finite is na ending, infinite, finite na ending, infinite is wala ending. The standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample mean is given by the formula is equals to the standard deviation over the square root of n times the square root of n minus n over n minus 1, where the kanang symbol moral circle is the population standard deviation, n is the sample size, and ang n nga gamay, sample size, n nga dako is the population size. And then kung ang population is infinite, dagha, way katapusan, ang formula sa standard deviation is standard deviation over the square root of n. Kato ganiha, itong previous discussion. A population is considered finite if the sample drawn is at least 5% of population. So, finite siya because nasa limitation nga 5% ra daw. Example, from a population size n is equals to 500, sample size n is equals to 30 is drawn. The population standard deviation is 12.5. Since n is 30, and it's more than 5% of the population, n is 500, so the population is considered finite. Finite siya because naaman tayo gitawag nga limitation, 5% of the population. So use the formula katong ganiya, basta finite, we have standard division over the square root of n times the square root of n nga dako, which is the population mean, ay population size, n nga gamay sample size, then n minus 1. So substitute ang formula. So ang standard division kay 12.5, then ang n is 30, so square root of 30 times the square root of n nga dako population is 500, then n nga gamay is 30, so 500 minus 30 over 500 minus 1. So 500 minus 30, we have 470. Divided by 500 minus 1, we have 499. So 470 divided by 499, Then square root nimo ang answer, multiply nimo sa 12.5, ang answer sa 12.5 divided by square root of 30, imong i-multiply sa answer sa square root sa 470 over 499. So the answer is, using your calculator, approximately 2.21. So therefore, ang standard deviation of the sample distribution of sample mean is 2.21. Another example, a population has a mean of 220 and standard deviation of 30 and sample size 150. What is the mean and the standard deviation of the sampling distribution? So, ang mean of the standard, since ang population mean kay 220 man, di ba, equal man na sila. So, ang iyang mean sa standard mean of sampling distribution is also 220. Standard deviation is 30 and sample size is 150. So, same sila, equal to 20. We will solve the standard division. So, standard division, we have infinite ni because wala limitation. So, standard division of the square root of n, standard division is 30, then sample size 150, so square 30 divided by square root of 150, the answer, class, is, use your calculator to check it so that you can follow the answer. The answer is approximately 2.45. So, ang iyahang mean of sampling distribution is 220 because equal man na, automatic na siya, class. Ang mean of the sampling distribution is dali na sa kuhaan because always equal siya sa population mean. Population mean kay 220, so equal sila, and then the standard deviation is 2.45, approximately 2.45. Another example, let a population data consist of values 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and 65. Show that the sampling distribution of sample is approximately normal using sample size of 40 without replacement. So, I mean to say, for sample size of 40 daw, classes, atong gamit og combination formula. Diba? Ang formula for the combination is n factorial over n minus r factorial times r factorial. So, ang n kay total niya kay 6 man, di ba? So, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, di ba? Unom ka buok, so 6. Aron maila na to, class, pilay combination sa sample size nga 4. Maghimo man daw tag sample size nga upat-upat. So, i-pair na to ang 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, mag sample size of 4 ta. So, aron maila na to, pila ka buok ang combination tanan. So, using the combination formula, 64, so 6 man siya kabuk. So, 6 factorial over, ang 4 is upat daw ka size. So, 6 minus 4 factorial, 4 factorial. So, 6 factorial over 6 minus 4. So, 2 factorial times 4 factorial. So, pasabutan ng 6 factorial, na-discuss na ako na isa to say, until may multiply until 1. So, 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Ang 2 factorial, so 2 times 1. Then, ang 4 factorial, 4 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 1. So, ang 6 factorial kay 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. The answer is kay 720. Yang 2 factorial 2 times 1 kay 2. O yang 4 factorial 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 24. So, 720 divided by 2 times 24, 48. So, there are 720 divided by 48, there are 15 combinations. So, meaning, ang sample, the number of sample mean in sampling distribution is 15. So, 15 daw. So, now we will solve the sample mean. O, 15. Mo na siya, class. Mo ni ang mga sample nga atong nahimo, di ba? 15 man to ang atong isolve ganiya combination sa from the given katong unom ka number nga without replacement di pwede magkuan ibalik-balik. So 15 kabuk nga form. So yeah, 40, 45, 50, 55, 40, 45, 50, 60. Yeah, sample size kay 4 man upat-upat ra. And then mo ni siya class 15 kabuk, and then giyon sa pagkuang sample mean. So discuss na nako in the previous discussion, i-add ni siyang upat kabuk 40 plus 45 plus 50 plus 55. Dayon i-divide siya kung pila kabuk, since 4 makabuok, so i-divide ni siya 4 tanan. I-add ni siya tag sa each table, i-add and then divide by 4. So mo na ang yang mean kay 47.5, 48.5, 50, 50, 51.5, 52.5, 51.5, 52.5, 53.75, 55, 52.5, 53.75, 55, 56.25, 57.5. So now atong i-construct ang probability distribution. So atong iapon kung pila kabok ang yang answer. Pila kabok 47.5 ang answer, usa kabok. So that is why 1 over 15 kay 15 makabok. Pila kabok 48.75, duha kabok. Usa. 1 over usa ra gyapon kabok 1 over 15. Pila kabok 50. Sa answer, we have duha ka sample mean. So 2 over 15. Pila kabok 51.25. 2, duha ra kabok. So ngano 15 man ang over because 15 man sila kabok. 2 over 15. Pila kabok 52.5. 52.5 pila ka buok? 1, 2, 3. So 3 ka buok. So 3 divide 15, girido. So nahimong 1 over 5. 53.75 pila, duha. So 2 over 15. 55 pila ka buok, duha. So 2 over 15. 56.25 usa. So 1 over 15. 57.5 pila, 1 over 15. So meaning, so muna siya ang graph na to. Normal distribution 47.5.0. So muna siya gigraph na to ang ilang mga according sa ilang answer. Using histogram ni siya kay sikit-sikit. So muna siya class ang answer. Okay, the last but not the least, we have the sampling distribution using the Central Limit Theorem. So analyzing the sampling distribution with sample mean, so the Central Limit Theorem assures that given a large enough sample size, the sampling distribution of the sample mean is normally distributed. Basta normal distributed, basta si n kay mulapas og 30 or equal to 30. So normal distributed siya according to Central Limit Theorem. So we can determine the percentage that a certain sample has a given sample mean using the z-score. Diba, na-discuss naman tag z-score last sa our previous discussion. So, example, in a certain population, equals 5, 1.5. Let us determine the probability that the random sample has a sample mean at most 4. So, determine the z-score, di ba? Ang z-score is, i-discuss mo na ito pag-last, the mean over population mean minus the mean over standard deviation. So population mean kay 5, ang sample mean is 1.5. I mean ang mean kay 4, standard deviation kay 1.5. So use to the formula, substitute. So mean kay 4, ang mean kay 4 and population mean kay 5. So 4 minus 5 divided by standard deviation 1.5. 4 minus 5, negative 1. Negative 1 divide 1 for 5. Always remember, negative divide positive, positive divide negative is always negative. So the answer is approximately negative 0.67. Now, to find the z-score, negative 0.67, use the z table, katong discuss ako pag-last. Negative 0.67, asa siya nabilong, na siya yung mga value dito sa z table. Tanawan ninyo, yung value is 0.2514. So, the probability is approximately, imo siyang percent or move decimal to the right 2 times 1, 2. So, or 0.2514 or probability of 25.14%. So, since z-score man diba, na-discuss na ko sa z-score, we will use the z-table value, ang negative 0.67. Now, distribution of the sampling distribution of the sample mean. The appropriate value of n depends on the shape of the population from which the sample is drawn. A good rule of thumb is that the sufficient sample size is, kato ganiha, mas dako ni 30 or equal ni 30. Take note of the following guidelines. First, if the population is normal, so therefore, the sampling distribution of the mean will be normal regardless of the sample size used. And if the population is approximately symmetric, the sampling distribution of the sample mean becomes approximately normal for relatively small values of n. And if the population is skewed, the population size n must be larger with n at least 30 before sampling distribution of the sample mean becomes approximately normal. For example, In a certain population, a sample of size n is 40 is drawn. According to the Central Limit Theorem, di ba, ang 40 is lapas na siya 30, so therefore normal ra siya, normally distributed because it is greater than 30 or lapas siya for 30. Example, suppose normally distributed population has the mean of 130. So standard deviation is 15. What is the probability that the under selected sample size 45 has sample mean greater than or equal to 130? So we need to determine the sample mean. I mean to determine the sampling distribution. Since always remember, dali ra kayo na siya pagkuha because equal na siya sa population. Population is 130. So therefore 130 sa siya. Now we need to determine the z-score of the mean 130. So korbanin z-score is 130. Niya ang z is 0 since equals to the mean 130. So, ang z-scores, nga no 0 man ni sir because ang yang mean population mean og yang mean kay pareha man 130, di ba? Formula is minus man to mean, population mean minus mean over standard deviation ya. 130 minus 130 0 naman, 0 divide 15 0 man. So, 0 automatic. Pila value ni 0 sa z table? We have 0.5. So therefore, 0.5 or imong percentage move 2 places to the right, 1, 2. So may mong 50%. The answer is 0.5 or 50% ang probability selected sample of size 45 nga sample mean greater than or equal to 130. Okay? Another example. The average weight of newborn small breed dog is 112.5 grams, which is the standard deviation, with a standard deviation of 45 grams. What is the probability that the average weight of 59 newborn small breed dog is more than 230? So again, ang population mean is same siya sa mean of the katong ganiha. So always equal, so 212.5 nya ang standard deviation 45, sample size 59 dog, nya ang mean kay 230. Since dako malapas mo 30, so normal siya. So same ang population mean o ang mean of sampling distribution. Then use the formula to find the standard deviation. Since we have nga may given man ang standard, given sa ng sample size nga n. So standard deviation is 45 and ang sample size kay 59. So 45 divided square root of 59. Use your calculator. Yan, approximately 5.86 ang yang standard deviation. Now, we will use to solve the z-score. So, population mean minus the sample mean over standard deviation. So, ang population mean we have, ang mean kay 230 minus the population mean 212.5 over standard deviation 5.86. So, 230 minus 212.5 divided by 5.86. So, the answer is approximately 2.99. So, ang 2.99 sa z table, P of z greater than or equal to 2.99, pila yung value niya. So, the answer is, ang yang value kay 0.9986. So, we will subtract into 1. So, 1 minus 0.9986, the answer is 0.0014. So, or, imoon siyang percent, move ang decimal to the right 2 times 1, 2. So, the answer is 0.0014 or 0.14%. Okay? Do you understand? Okay, very good. Have a nice day. Thank you.